And I believe they know that because their CEO has an accounting background. I believe he came through the ranks as an accountant. So he definitely should know the numbers. So in my mind, I feel like they're trying to have like, in StarCraft terms, they're trying to do a timing push. GW price going at 4% soon. Oh, I made like a really good comment about that. So I found a really good way to not make, the ranty videos. So to avoid making ranty videos, I basically find another ranty video. And then I comment on that. I comment what I want to rant about in someone else's video. And I just get that out of my system. And usually I get like a lot of likes, which like, validates me. The 4% thing does not really make sense. There's two ways, right? Because 4%, it's 4% on average. On the statement, it's 4% on average. There'll be things that will be less than 4%, and there'll be things a lot more than 4%. So if you look on the bell curve, there'll be things that will go up by 6%, and there'll be things that go up by only 2%. Roughly like that. The issue is that 4% is a very... Thanks, Gorn. Yeah, 4% is a very arbitrary amount. Because if you look on the G20 website, you can actually access the inflation data up to July 2025, which is adjusted like an annual inflation figure adjusted for the most recent month that it can. And the most recent month that they have figures for is July 25th. And so out of all the regions, the main marketing regions that GW sells to, the highest inflation rate belongs to UK, which is 3.6%. So there's a 0.4% difference. It's basically there's a 10% overhang over the actual inflation figures. Right. Okay, so is there anything higher than 3.6%? Well, outside of Zimbabwe or like Brazil, where it's basically outside of their main market, you have nowhere that's even close to 4%. I think the EU zone inflation rate for last year was only 2%. The French inflation rate, I believe, was 2%, and the German inflation rate was 1%. I could have it switched up. So basically one was 2 and one is 1. The American inflation rate is 2.6%. So in a lot of these cases, the GW prices going at 4% is basically double. It's basically on average double the inflation rate of their basic main markets. Yeah, basically. And you have to remember, like, these kind of things compound, and I am almost sure, like, I could be remembering this wrong. I could be remembering this wrong. Sorry, my accent came out.
Years ago, I was Chinese.
And the issue is that these numbers, they compound. So if you put your money in like a term deposit, you'll probably get around roughly like a 2% back, right? And like every year it compounds. And that's basically, for some people, that's enough for like a retirement fund. So if this keeps up like over a period of 10 years, it's not going to be, like if there's a 2% overhang and then it happens in over like 10 years, it's not going to be like a 20% increase. It's going to be like a compounding of 2% like every single year, compounding for 10 years. And Warren Buffett has like a quote, right? Like, one of the most powerful forces on this earth is compounding interest. And the bad thing about this is that people's real wages have not been going up 2% every year. They're not even going up 4% anywhere. They're not even following inflation. I think it's only following like half of inflation, like realistically like 1%. And this is for the middle class. This applies to basically the middle to upper middle class, the professional class. So eventually, I feel like GW is going to get to a point where they're going to price themselves out of a market. And I think GW knows that. And I believe they know that because their CEO has an accounting background. I believe he came through the ranks as an accountant. So he definitely should know the numbers. So in my mind, I feel like they're trying to have like, in StarCraft terms, they're trying to do a timing push. They're trying to build up their profits for a certain event. GW only milks till 3D printers put them out of business. I think there's like a certain like technical competency issue that will make that not very accessible. But I feel like that. No, I think actually no. I think you're actually right because people do not actually have to print their own 3D printing models now, right? They can just buy them online for a fraction of the price. No, you're entirely correct. There's a perfect market replacement. That's the term I'm trying to find. I think it just could be that, like another way to look at it, it could be that GW senses there's competition coming. GW senses there's competition coming, so they're just trying to extract as much money out of the market before the competition fully establishes itself, which could be 3D printing. That could be a way to look at it as well. Like it may not be them gearing up for like a sales for Disney, like inflating the numbers for Disney sales. That might not be it. It could just be them trying to extract as much as they can before the market plateaus.